I'm back, and today we're talking about Chuckie Egg. Arguably the most well-known and popular platform game from 1983 and still very well known today. It has now been rewritten and released for iOS, with Android and other devices to follow. The question of course is it as good as the original Specky version, and how on earth does it play on a touch screen? Let's have a look.
Let's all turn on the tube. This is hot dog soup.
Chuckie Egg, a platformer we all know and love, especially if you owned a ZX Spectrum or BBC Micro in 1983. Released by A&F Software and originally written for the Specky by Nigel Alderton at 16, it was an instant classic. In the press it received no awards but was rated everywhere at around 80% or 8 out of 10. It has often been compared to Manic Miner, which was released slightly before Chuckie Egg itself. However, the action in Chuckie Egg was much more frantic and less having to make pixel-perfect jumps. Chuckie Egg, referencing chicken eggs and not the chucking of eggs, is a platformer in which you simply collect all the eggs in a level before the timer runs out. If the timer reaches 0, you're dead. If you're caught by a hen, you're dead. If you fall off the bottom of the screen, you're dead. You can collect seeds to stop the timer for a while and gain some bonus points, but the hens that run around may eat the seeds right in front of your nose, the bastards. Chuckie Egg has been re-released as a full rewrite without any emulation for iOS phones and tablets. It also runs on a Mac, and versions for Android and Amazon devices are coming soon. According to the official website, it is also coming to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5 as well as Steam, but no release dates have been set. Elite Systems is the publisher, who in 2015 already included the Specky game in their recreated Spectrum collection. You can play both the ZX Spectrum and BBC Micro versions, each with their own graphics and sound, which is absolutely lovely. It also includes 2 new view modes, apart from the original 2D mode. Orthographics and perspective modes offer a 3D-esque view without making the game actually 3D. The game includes an online leaderboard, so now we can officially try to beat other players around the world without having to send a photograph of your television set to a magazine. Very nice! I tested Chuckie Egg on an iPhone 15, iPad mini as well as an Apple TV 4K. I paid $2.99 for it, and this one-time purchase price means no ads, no in-app purchases, no pay to win, no pay to continue, no loot boxes and all that other stuff that makes mobile games so unbearable. By the way, I myself made 2 mobile puzzle games for iOS that also don't keep telling you to buy stuff. They're called 7Bloks and Block 10 and they're free. Links are in the desk. So we can now play Chuckie Egg on our phones and tablets. Personally, I almost always hate playing games on a touchscreen because, well, I'm a joystick boy. And on-screen controls, your fingers obscure the content and you cannot really feel where the buttons are. So I'm curious to find out how a 40-year-old platform game will play without any tactile feedback. Luckily, Chuckie Egg also supports Bluetooth game controllers as well as keyboards, so that sounds great to me. On to the game then. The title screen contains a horrible metal guitar version of Der Ententanz, or the Duck Dance. Before playing, you can select various options in a very touchy options screen. More often than not, you accidentally start the game while you are selecting options, and my fingers aren't even that fat. Initially you have to start at room 1, but you unlock more rooms as you complete them. This is a very nice feature compared to the old days, where you had to start all over again if your machine had been turned off due to your mom having to vacuum. The Specky version I played is very accurate and almost plays exactly like the original. There's a little bit less flicker and everything just seems a tiny bit more stable. One thing that immediately jumps to mind is that there is no color clash. The platforms, the hens, the eggs, the ladders and Henhouse Harry are all there in perfect harmony without any clashing. This may seem a little bit disappointing, as it is of course not a true representation of the original, but I'll very happily accept this minor change as it is such a big improvement. The playability is as wonderful as it was back in the days. Even the unique jump mechanism that makes you stick to a platform if possible, interrupting the jump cycle, is exactly the same. You bounce nicely off a platform if you hit it from the side, which is also one of the unique Chuckie Egg playability feats. You can hold one of the directional buttons to automatically walk on and off ladders, and it is possible to jump on and off ladders halfway through. These things are what makes Chuckie Egg, as it does what many specky platformers couldn't do. To test all of this playability, I used a Bluetooth game controller because, well, you know, touchscreen controls, they completely suck donkey balls. Fortunately, Elite know this, so in an effort to make touch control a bit nicer, they have built in a control customization screen. You can determine exactly where the buttons are and how you control the game. You can choose between a fixed on-screen controller or a floating one that simply appears where you put your finger. It is also possible to place loose buttons for each direction and set the translucency of all of the buttons so they won't mess up your view of the game itself. You can even add multiple controllers and duplicate buttons all over the screen if you want to. Well, while all of this is nice, the game is really much harder to control on the touchscreen than when using a keyboard or game controller. The diagonal movement, which allows you to basically fly across the platforms and ladders, becomes much more cumbersome as you cannot feel the on-screen keys. You are always guessing a little bit where you have to tap. Of course, that isn't the case on consoles, PC or Apple TV, but for mobile devices, it's a problem. On the Apple TV, the game can be controlled using Apple's own remote or indeed a Bluetooth game controller. On a TV-based console, of course, you play Chuckie Egg the way it was intended. On a TV, in your living room, while sitting on the couch. The high score list is divided into leagues, where every week the top 5 players advance to the next league. Your nickname and progress, however, is not synced across devices. So if you're like me and play on multiple devices, you are a new player for each device. What's kind of strange is the leaderboards are also separated per platform. On iPad and Apple TV I found different players on the list than on the iPhone. Despite this, having online leaderboards is a great addition to the game. The new perspective view is very nice, but as the camera follows you, you cannot see your score or the time left. Also, you're not seeing the entire level, so it is harder to know where everything is. The orthographics view basically does the same thing, except there is no perspective. It has the same issues as the perspective view, but both are a nice addition to make the game a little bit more modern. On the TV, my Chuckie Egg experience was the best. It's nice and large and there are no touch controls. I even showed the game to a couple of kids and they all wanted to play again and again, and I myself hardly could stop playing as well. This is of course due to Chuckie Egg being a very playable and nice casual game in itself, independent of the platform you play it on. It is just so fast and hectic, you just want to have another go again and again. The dopamine hits every time you beat one of the stupid hens, flying past them at the latest moment, grabbing an egg or jumping to another platform. And mind you, this is not because of nostalgia. I myself hardly played Chuckie Egg in the 80s as I was caught up playing Manic Miner and Jetpack. I do remember playing Chuckie Egg a few times, but not sticking with it, and this makes it so remarkable that I really like it today. I am definitely not wearing rose-tinted specs for this game, and neither are the kids I showed it to. That proves this game really actually is a timeless classic. This new release is as great as it was in the 80s, and in my opinion, well worth its price. On mobile, the controls are annoying and require retraining your brain, but that's not Elite's fault. It's just how mobile gaming works on a touchscreen device. The extra features, like the leaderboards and being able to start further on in the game, are really great additions. I really think Nigel Alderton deserves the fame and fortune for this game, so let's hope he has a good deal with Elite about his royalties. As a modern mobile game in itself, this game is very good. No in-app purchases, high fun casual gaming while keeping your progress, and it is very addictive. Even if you've never seen a ZX Spectrum in your life, this is still a very fun and even kid-friendly game. As a bonus, the turn-based 4-player mode is still there like it was in the 80s. So you can all gather around the TV in your living room and have a nice couple of goes together with your loved ones. And that is what life is all about. So, there you go. Chuckie Egg is available now on iOS. If you've got another device like Android or a games console, I'm sure it will be worth the wait. If you're like me and loathe the on-screen touch controls, but have absolutely no other way to play it, maybe this is a pass. If you've got a controller or a keyboard, get it now and show it to all of your friends. It's worth it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below. Did you play a Chuckie Egg as a kid? What's your high score? Basically, comment anything you want. It doesn't really matter, as long as you comment. If you liked this video, please like it and also subscribe. I just celebrated my 25th 100th subscriber, so you are very welcome to join the club. That's it for me. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.